Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Sophia Parola with Garden State Film Festival, and today I have the honor of interviewing the people behind the making of the short film, Life After Death. Congratulations to all of you guys for getting accepted into Garden State Film Festival.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming today. So I'd love for you each just to introduce yourself and the title in this film. Why don't we start off with you, Sophie?
Hi, I'm Sophie. I was the director of Life After Death.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Maura, do you want to go next?
I am Maura Collins, and I am the editor of Life After Death.
Thank you. Ashlyn?
I am Ashlyn Estevez, and I am the main actor in Life After Death.
And last but not least, Sasha, take us away.
Hi, my name's Sasha. I mainly did additional stuff for the film Life After Death, such as prop management, and I was even in the film as an additional cameo in the very beginning of it.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, I had a chance to watch this and I have lots of questions. I thought it was really creative and interesting. I can't wait to talk more. Sophie, I'd love for you to tell us all, as the director, about a little synopsis for everyone who's watching about this film.
Okay, so a brief synopsis is the film is about a ghost who's kind of getting sick of her life in the afterlife, and she wants to change, and she's just seeking change in her death.
And Sophie, did you also, I know you directed the piece, did you also write it? Or how was it written?
Yeah, since it was mostly just a visual, like there's only a little bit of dialogue at the very end. Actually, I'm sorry, it was a whole voiceover. We all wrote it. I'm thinking of something else, I'm sorry. We wrote it collaboratively, so we all kind of worked on it together. A lot of our films are visual, so this is kind of like a first writing piece, I know, for at least me. So we all kind of like collaborated together to make it work.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, congratulations to you all. I definitely thought this film was just, I don't want to give anything away, but I just thought it was so interesting how you came up with this premise, this idea. Like, I've never really seen something like that. And I would love to know, I mean, since you guys were all collaborators in writing, whoever wants to jump in about the writing aspect and or the creating of this film, how did you come up with this idea, with this premise of the film?
So I originally walked up to Sophie and was just like, Sophie, have you seen that trend where people are being sheet ghosts? Because there's this trend going around in October, around the time when we started filming. And she was just like, yeah. And I was like, well, bear with me here. I want to make a comedy film about it.
It was on TikTok.
Yeah, it was on TikTok and Instagram and all of this stuff. I was like, I want to make a comedy because I feel like we could do something with this. And then Sophie was like, okay, great. Now let's get a few people together who would be very good, like, with this idea and passionate about it. So then we got Sasha and Maura and Abby, and we all met up and we talked about the film and how we were going to make it a comedy.
I think that was one of the most interesting things, is because obviously it's about death and a lot of heavy stuff. And like, I was laughing during it and I was like, oh my God, this is so clever. But at the same time, it's like, wow, this is a little morbid, but in a good way, like morbidly funny and a little sad. And I would love to know the process of you guys writing and thinking this idea, like just what was the whole process of coming up with it? Ashlyn, that was wonderfully said. If anyone else wants to jump in, just about how you guys came together and like, okay, how can we make this funny, but it also is kind of serious.
Yeah, definitely our film teacher, Christopher Corey, he a lot of times pushes us to make almost like kind of more morbid niche films that like aren't really normally done. So we wanted to take like kind of a trend, something that was popular, sheet ghosts, also is the time of like Halloween. And we wanted to think like, how could we make this like out of the ordinary? So we actually started with like the idea, we didn't have the original ending, which I won't spoil. But we had a totally different ending and we were just watching it. And we thought like we just wanted to put a whole twist on it. And at first we didn't want to do a voiceover, but then we decided like we thought it'd be cool for like the ghost to narrate her life and how she's feeling. And we can kind of add some sarcasm and like humor in there to make it like, to almost uplift like the morbid aspect of that.
Yeah, and I think the idea to do a voiceover was really intriguing to me because I just liked hearing that, and you couldn't really see them talk anyway. I just thought it was really interesting that you did that. I would love to know about the process of filming. I mean, I noticed, I'm from Jersey, so I noticed a lot of the spots that you were at, like Bellworks, because I was like, oh my gosh, how do they film there? I would love to know how you guys got these locations and what was it? I mean, Ashlyn, I'm guessing you were the one under the sheet because you're the main actress.
Yeah, I was under the sheet, and it was quite awkward when we were filming in the cemetery because there was people that were with their like deceased family members and crying, and we were like, okay, we don't want to be disrespectful. So we went to like the very back of the cemetery and found like the oldest grave we could find and was like, all right, this works. And anytime someone came, we would try to be very respectful. So I would take off the sheet, and that stunted a lot of our filming process because of that. So I would arguably say that that was the hardest part about filming, was just trying to make sure that we're being respectful, but also at the same time trying to get the shots that we need.
Absolutely. I think that's inspiring too. I mean, as filmmakers, you want to do something that's edgy, but at the same time, sometimes it's like you have to get past that boundary or think out of the box. And I think you guys really successfully did that. I commend you for going on with that, even in a cemetery where it was a little awkward. And Sophie, what was it like directing, I mean, Ashlyn under a sheet, or, this whole thing in these public places? What was this? And any of you can weigh in, just what was the process of filming this like?
It was definitely at one point, we definitely tried to be respectful, especially when we were in like a closed space like Bell Works. Luckily, like a lot of the scenes were outside because we had to manage with a COVID restriction. So we were all wearing masks. Even Ashlyn was wearing a mask under the sheet, which is another reason like why we used the sheet, so we can incorporate like questions as well as like having a fun idea. We definitely did get a lot of stares in places such as like Bell Works or at the Middletown train stations where we filmed that last scene. I always find it quite fun directing, especially when there's like a fun prop involved, like the sheet on Ashlyn. And we also had a short scene in Target. It's definitely, you're trying to keep it low key in case you get kicked out of places, because some places have a bit of like shaky filming restrictions. But it's always really great. Everyone's really creative, and we kind of just like bounce ideas off each other on set. And it's just really fun like working with these guys.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, weigh in.
Previously, me and Sophie worked on a film last year together. And so she was kind of used to my acting style, and I was used to her directing style. So really with this, it kind of just like felt like at home. And Sasha and Maura and Abby are just people I always wanted to work with. I always looked up to what they did. So all of us together was just kind of like, I enjoyed it so much. I mean, we had so much fun on set, especially when people were giving us weird looks because why is this person walking around with a sheet on their head? So we were all able to make like a light of it. And it's always good when you could joke around with the people that you're working with.
Of course, and especially with the premise of the film, being able to joke around and find light in that is absolutely amazing. And I mean, you just mentioned you loved working with like Sasha, Maura, and you got, and one of the best parts about film, I mean, you have to collaborate, and being in this situation where obviously you're getting these awkward looks, it's great to be with people that you trust and can depend on. I'd love to know, Maura, what was the editing process like? Was it a collaborative, was it a collaborative process? Do you know exactly how you wanted to edit it? What was that like?
We all had like a basic idea of what we wanted it to look like, but unfortunately we weren't really able to meet up and edit together. So we mostly like texted or FaceTime about like what we should do. And I think like what I mainly went by and what like most of us wanted to do is that we edited to the music. So like if you like almost had a camera in there recording me, like most of the time I was also like a conductor. I was like going like this, like trying to edit the shots to the music. So yeah, it was more of like a lot of stuff that I was doing, but it was very reassuring to have like them on the call and like joking around with me because we were stressed to try to get it done, but it was still really fun in the end.
Awesome. And Sasha, I mean, being in charge of all the extra stuff you were saying and the props and stuff like that, what was that like? Were you hands-on on set? Did you have to do it remotely? What was the process for you like working in this film?
Oh boy. Well, first off, when Sophie, mainly Sophie mentioned that she wanted to get some props, I was like, oh, I could do that for her because I have a lot of like extra stuff in my house right now. I'm currently my parents' room right now. It's quiet here, so the suitcase that was actually my dad's. I don't know when he used it, but it was like a pretty old suitcase, but it's still very usable. Actually, my phone was in it sometimes because I didn't want to carry it the whole time, so I just left in like the little pockets. There's a lot of pockets here. When she said, we're planning on using the fedora for the ghosts, and I was like, oh yeah, I think the ghost needs Dora, but we like kind of scrapped that early on. And I do think it's really, I do think props are especially important for a film. I even helped Sophie with props for the next one we did. So so yeah, I think it's just really fun that I got to like help her with that because this is like my first film in Miss Corey's advanced class, so it's a very big dream for me to work with all these amazing people and finally get the chance to work with something and someone who I've always wanted to be in their place. So yeah, I'm personally really excited about it, and I hope we can do stuff like this for years to come.
Very cool, very cool. And Sasha, you mentioned that you were in an advanced class. It's one of the first films you worked on. I would love to know how you guys got together. Like this was part of the high school film block. So are you guys in school? Was this a project that that your teacher came up with, or you guys kind of all just flocked together and was like, let's make something creative? How did it all like come together? How did you guys all come together?
So we usually make 4 films a year in Mr. Corey's class. He kind of pushes us to do so, and sometimes even 5. It depends. If you start something over the summer, he'll help you finish it. And like I said, I approached Sophie, and at this time she was in class, and I'm pretty sure all of us were in class at this time. But sometime through the filming, Sophie actually had to direct through FaceTime because she had to be in quarantine when she got back from Ohio. And so that was also very interesting because I can't imagine how hard it must be to direct someone while you're not physically there. So like I said, I came up to Sophie and I was like, Sophie, I want to do this film. So me and Sophie were talking about it, and I was like, we're going to need help with this. Who are we asking? And she was like, Abby, cinematography, amazing. And I was just like, all right, totally. Like I saw some of the previous work that Abby did. She just always had a knack for her camera, and it's almost crazy how she uses it because it's almost like it's an extension of her. It's so cool. And then we were like, Sasha and Maura, amazing. Sasha and Maura, I believe, were both in the background, if you look closely, in the background of the first few shots at the graveyard. So when we all got together, it was in person at first, and we were all just kind of going over, oh, how are we going to make this happen? What is going to happen? Because like I said, all I had the idea was I want to do a comedy about a sheet ghost. So we had to work with that.
Awesome. And Sophie, I'm sorry. Did anyone else want to weigh in about how you guys kind of came together? I don't want to interrupt anyone.
So the original group came together as a result of Mr. Corey just placing us in random groups. So it's like 6 girls in this class, and Mr. Corey just grouped 5 of us together because the other one was doing a film on her own, which is also going to be shown here at the festival. So that's also cool. So it was pretty much, and I also knew Sophie before from last year, so we just kind of got along well instantly, and we just want to make it like straightforward and simple. We didn't know how well it was going to turn out, but hey, at least we're here, so that's a big bragging right for us.
Absolutely. And I love to see my females in film. Let me just say that I love that you guys are all like a group of the females coming together and doing the crew. Love to see it. And my last question for you guys is, why did you choose to submit this to Garden State Film Festival? What does it mean having this film premiere at Garden State? And what are you hoping some of the audience members can take after watching this?
Definitely, I know from my experience in festivals, a lot of them were having during virtual, but I know one of my films screened last year at the Garden State, and I thought the way it was presented, the entire crew there just very accommodating. I thought it was very like well done, especially considering like the virtual circumstances. And even though I was never able to attend a festival in person before COVID, I heard it's like very well run, and I definitely want to be able to attend one day. But even despite like it being virtual, just knowing it's being presented, I know it's very well known around New Jersey for New Jersey filmmakers. So like a lot of like different people in the industry, just other creatives being able to like see your work presented along with theirs is just really an awesome experience. And it's really great for like student filmmakers like me who want to try to kind of get their first foot in the door before college.
Absolutely. Has anyone else heard of Garden State? Is anyone else super excited to have this premiere at this festival?
Yeah, so 2 of my films in the past 2 years I've been to Garden State, and I went both times and I absolutely loved it. I had a blast each time. So you guys are kind of like one of my go-to film festivals whenever I make something to submit to, because it's always just, like Sophie said, it's always very well run and organized and structured. And also you guys are like taking these films from these high schoolers and showing them, and it kind of is like a sense of pride for them. So like, thanks to you guys for showing it.
Thank you. Well, I mean, we have to wrap up this interview. I know I didn't hear exactly from everyone, but like, I hope you guys just know how much Garden State loves our filmmakers, especially the high school filmmakers who are always so creative and innovative. I mean, it blows my mind meeting you guys and seeing Life After Death. I really was like, this is so awesome. That's so cool. You came up with this just from a trend, but I would have never known. I mean, it's really awesome and innovative. And I know you were saying that you weren't able to attend last time you were at the festival, Sophie, but this year we have a hybrid. So it's really awesome. The whole high school film block will be in person and virtual, so you can totally stay home and be safe, or you can go and watch it in person. And let me tell everyone how you could watch it. It is going to be premiering in the Asbury Hotel in Asbury Hall, Saturday the 27th. In the film block of 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., lots of amazing high school films, and among them, Life After Death. Also, Maura, I know you have another film in there. I want them to know, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. And it's going to be really awesome. I just want to congratulate you all for your amazing work, and also making a film during COVID. Not easy at all, but it's really inspiring that you guys were able to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Well, congratulations again. I'm so happy Garden State is always on your mind. Continue to submit and make awesome films. Your success is our success, and we love our filmmakers. So thank you so much for doing the work that you do.